This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website or an online store, make it with Squarespace. This may look a little bit ridiculous, but what I'm trying to do is cut this little pop can in half to make a pop can fishing kit in an effort to reduce the amount of gear I actually carry down the lake when I go fishing and put it in a kind of manageable container, hence the pop can. So I've got my pop can upside down. I'm just pressing it flat against the bench and running it up against this very thin craft knife blade. To keep the cut on the same line, what I've done is just hot glued a couple of wooden blocks down to the bench top. I don't actually want to cut through and shear my way through. What I'm trying to do is score lightly all the way around until the can's absolutely, well, I was going to say paper thin, but much thinner than that. And this does normally take a couple of minutes. There are other methods of cutting cans in half, and I've given them a go with scissors and the bandsaw. But they tend to leave quite a rough edge, which is not really any good for what I want. So I'm just going to plod on tearing this for a couple of minutes. So I'm just starting to get a little bit of splitting along that line, and I'm going to stop and see if I can open that up. The stress of just popping the can backwards and forwards should just weaken it at that thin point until it just fatigues. So that's left a pretty clean cut, but obviously because it's an empty aluminium can, it's really got no strength to it. So I've cut down a bit of, this is 2.5 inch PVC rainwater pipe down from the gutter. It's obviously an old piece because it's very dirty inside. I took a measurement off this can just short of this bottom lip and then cut it down on the bandsaw and also put a bit of a slit into it. If I just fold that together, I should just be able to push that in, and then just with the knife just give it a mark. The excess material I need to take off, I should be able to slide that back out, take it back to the bandsaw. That's a pretty lucky first cut, to be honest. It's not absolutely perfect, but if I give it a bit of a squeeze there, it's pretty solid. I remembered really just to go a little short of the mark with the bandsaw, and it seems to have done the trick. I'm going to repeat that really for this second piece. So just going back to the saw, I'm going to cut the last little piece, which is going to connect these two together before I glue everything up. I'm in the process of building my own website at the moment for the handmade Fisherman, and of course I'm using Squarespace, who kindly sponsored this video. Squarespace is really easy to use and it's almost self-explanatory. Squarespace offer a huge range of well-designed templates that you can bring things like your own images and video into. It's also all singing and dancing, so there's no installing things or patching things in or even updating. It's all done for you. It's easy to search for and register your own domains for your site, and also transfer them if you've already got a domain. There is support available 24/7 if you need to get yourself out of a jam. So if you need a website, head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/handmadefisherman to save 10% on your first purchase. I'll post a link in the video description below. So that's it really. The problem is what you put in it, and for someone like me who likes to carry as much junk as they can down to the water, plus a tripod and maybe a camera, that can be pretty torturous. One thing I have found though over the years is probably about 95% of the tackle I carry with me I never use, and sometimes it just never gets to see the light of day ever. This is a kit I made to take with me to Scotland for the summer holidays to do some feather fishing from the rocks. Again, I'd spent a few evenings lugging so much gear down there that I was just exhausted by the time I got down to the rocks, and it was kind of no fun, and I really thought there's got to be a better way. So I kind of thought long and hard about what was the basic stuff I needed. In here, basically, there's just 3 little hand-tied feather rigs and some weights. And to be honest, I found that was enough for a night's fishing, a couple of nights fishing. Obviously I needed a rod and something to take the catch back home with. But in another way, it was liberating not to be stood there thinking about the possible things I could tie to the end of my line and just get on with fishing and enjoying myself. It also took me back to fishing as a kid down at the local lake with just a matchstick for a float, a bit of line, a hook and a tin full of maggots. I've got a little fishing log for those days, and when I flick back through it now, it's kind of just a list of me catching tiddlers, but what it doesn't really capture is the feelings I had when I was fishing there, that kind of freedom and, I don't know, sense of achievement and just sheer fun of being out fishing on my own. So I think I'm going to fill my tin for a bit of freshwater fishing from the mound of junk I've got kicking round, and kind of again get it down to that bare minimum. I think, although I've been making fishing tackle for a long time now, I've kind of begun to realise that it's not all that important to the actual act of fishing, just, you know, being by the water, enjoying yourself. So the question I'd ask to you is, what would you stick in this tin? And, you know, what do you consider to be the things that make a great fishing trip, whether it's tackle, whether it's friends, whether it's whatever. I should be back soon with another video. I've got a tin to fill and a fishing rod to build if you've been watching this channel for a while. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.